the sun goes, basically, it comes right over this and over the ranch, or the Yellowstone Ranch, and goes right behind these mountains here into Trapper Peak. And it's just to die for. I mean, the magic hour here is just stunning. I'm Cole Hauser. You're here in Montana on JD's ranch. And today we are going to do a shot of me in a big old water trough that Beth was in season 1, minus the champagne or wine that she was drinking. Rip was not a very big role initially, in the pilot. And I think the first, conversation with Taylor Sheridan and, his writing, he's somebody that I've been watching for a very long time, since Sicario. And, Hell or High Water, some of the films he does, he's my style of director, writer. And also John Linson, who is the creator, is a friend of mine for 25 years. I just knew that this was going to be special. And then when Kevin came on, and Kelly Riley, Wes Bentley, Luke Grimes, I mean, the cast started to fall together just beautifully. So, and then, I've had the opportunity with Rip to be able to, see him grow, and talk to Taylor about it and the growth of the character through the years. And so, in season 4 coming up, it's more of that, more of seeing Rip evolve. Rip typically is, I'm about 225 when I play him. I mean, horseback riding, as you know, at a very high level is a hell of a workout for core and back and legs and you name it. Riding and roping and cutting and, doing all the different disciplines that we do on the show, it'll keep you in shape, but that first kind of initial, when you come back to work on this show, you're sore for a week, and then you kind of power through that like anything. So I've stayed in great shape, and, it's one of those things that as you get older, you kind of have to. I'm 45 now, so it's one of those things where if you don't, you're going to pay for it. Usually your back will go out or something, Well, I grew up in, Santa Barbara and Oregon, and always in the country on a ranch, in Oregon, so right outside of Eugene. So, that was kind of my first experiences in life. I was around 4 years old, is getting on a horse and cruising around with cows and, all kinds of different animals that we had on the ranch. And my mom, actually, she used to, around nighttime, she would ring the dinner bell. And the horse that I used to have, Cinnamon was its name, he'd come up and drop his head, and I'd just slide down his mane and right into the house. So I've always been outdoors. My kids are that way. We camp. We've moved on to kind of glamping with the Airstream, but yeah, it's just something that, I've always done. I like to hunt, fish, anything outdoors. My hobby for 25 years was to travel, work and travel. So I've seen a lot of this world. Not Africa, I'm kind of waiting for that special time. God, I've done a lot. I've had the opportunity to jump out of airplanes, to work with the military and being over in Afghanistan and do some really amazing stuff with those guys. So I've done a lot on my bucket list, but there's, I'd like to get into sailing more, and maybe even sail, across the Atlantic and down into Africa and around through Mauritius and back up around into, the Middle East. That's kind of a dream of mine through that area. I love space travel. I think it's the future of this, not only this world, but, going into, the next 100 years. I believe that, if we don't slow down as a people and really start taking care of this place, we're going to be looking other places. So, I think ever since I was a child, I even went to space camp as a kid, so it was always just, when you sit about sitting outside at night, I do that every night when it's clear out here, and I just stare at the stars and just wonder, what's out there. And it's the ultimate adventure, and I love adventure.